If you're watching this, it's probably because you're a creator, a small business owner, or an entrepreneur who's trying to figure out how to grow your business. And you've probably heard about hiring VAs. You've probably heard about what it's like. You've probably heard horror stories. You've probably heard success stories. And you really just don't know what it's all about. And what I can tell you is from my own experiences is that hiring VAs has absolutely changed my life. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly the process that I went through of figuring out how to hire VAs and the impact that VAs actually made on my business life and my personal life. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're all doing this stuff for, right? This is why we're creators, or we start businesses, or we try to invest in businesses, is to have some kind of freedom in our life. When I first got started in business, I knew nothing. I had no business background. I had some formal sales and marketing training from a Fortune 500 company in the United States, but I had no official training. I had no idea what I was doing. And so I started a few businesses. I sold one, exited another. And when I started my marketing agency, that was really the first time where I needed to hire employees. Now, remember, I had never hired employees before. I had never even managed employees before. I was always just a cog in a machine when it came to my previous jobs. And so when it came to hiring employees, I started with the first thing that came to my mind, which was hiring from my local community. And I remember my first part-time, technically she was a VA, but she was in my local community employee. And she worked for me, again, maybe 20, 30 hours a week. She worked from home. And that was mainly because I didn't have an office. I worked from home. And that was the kind of business that I was trying to build. I wanted to build a business where I had freedom, where I could control my life. I could go do what I want whenever I wanted to. And I didn't have any limitations such as, oh, I have to show up to an office and I have to, set some kind of example of attendance for a team or for employees. And so that's just how I got started. I eventually hired another VA who is in my local community, and then a third. And then I met a friend who was a business partner, and we decided that, hey, together we could potentially grow something that was much bigger than either one of our businesses alone, because together we offered very similar solutions that worked hand in hand for business owners. And so we decided to get an office. We started really small. We started really scrappy, and then we started hiring in-office employees because this is what he knew. And so I had along the way started to try and hire some overseas VAs. For me, part of running and growing a business is cost efficiency, right? And so while my local VAs were great, I just felt like there was some talent missing. I was in an area that was technologically in the past, a decade or so. And so the pool of people I was pulling from just wasn't as great. And so I had started looking at VAs and actually tried to hire a few, and I knew nothing again. So I had actually started looking to hire web developers, and I had just had a terrible experience. And so when I met this friend and we decided to go into business together, he was very experienced in business, had about 15, 20 years in business ahead of me, and he had grown teams, he had trained teams. And honestly, this guy has also changed my life. He has helped me come up with a lot of the systems and things that I've been able to put in place for marketing and being able to do things efficiently. But he knew how to run a full staff in his office, in his place of location. And so I took this as a great opportunity to learn and to implement something and hopefully get some faster or get some better scale leaning off the knowledge that he had, because after all, this is what real businesses do, right? They hire real employees that are in your real office. At least this was a thinking that I had at the time. And so while I was interested in VAs, I had had a terrible experience because I didn't know how to hire them, didn't know how to manage them, didn't know how to vet them. And really, I just didn't know how to do that with employees in general. Even though I had hired a couple, I just got lucky. And so we decided to go down this route of hiring employees. Well, a couple of years and honestly several of hundreds of thousands of dollars later, money spent on equipment, money spent on office, expenses, money spent on employees. It just did not end well. Now, this doesn't mean that I had hired bad employees. There were a few bad apples in the bunch, but that's normal. But mainly this was because I did not have the knowledge and the experience. Even though he brought a lot of knowledge and experience, I did not have the knowledge and experience of how to hire, how to run and grow a business efficiently at that time. And so these are all things I learned along the process. And these are things I look back on now when I help small business owners now with growing their companies. These are the experiences that I lean on. These failures, literally wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars on equipment, employees, and tests and things that did not work. And so that ended miserably during the COVID crisis, whatever you want to call it, the COVID event. We did decide to go back to remote, and at that point in time, it became really evident to me, no longer having an office, no longer seeing my employees, that I was drastically overpaying for my employees. And there was really no reason to continue to overpay for the talent pool I had at the time. We were still struggling to try and figure out how to grow. We had grown quite a bit, but not at the pace that I was impatiently expecting. And so I didn't really feel the employees I had were helping us grow. They were aiding us in growth. They were really more of coming on board, and I was having to train them and teach them. And this was kind of part of the strategy that my friend had recommended was, hey, let's go out. We can find less expensive talent from college students and we can train them. And the trade-off is you pay them a little bit less money. So like obviously legally you pay a minimum wage or a little bit more, but then in the trade-off, you're teaching them these skill sets and these strategies and things like that so they can use them later in their career. This is not the point of hiring, right?
No, it's not.
It may work as far as like, do you want to spend all your time micromanaging your business? But this does not work as far as growing your company. If you want to grow your company, you need to hire people that are better than you in the field that you're hiring them for. They need to be a better graphic designer. They need to be a better video editor. They need to have more experience with copywriting. They need to add value and not make it to where that you're having to teach them how to do every single thing in your business, where they are, taking up more of your time, where you can't spend on growing the company and you're having to spend on just managing, the current employees and tasks and things that you have.
I don't like that.
The whole point of hiring good employees, having systems and processes, is so that way you can bring a good employee who knows a very valuable skill set that's going to help your company grow, and give them a framework, processes, and systems within your company so that way they can flourish and perform at their knowledge level and actually help your company grow. That's the whole point of all of this. And then what do? You get more time back so you can enjoy your life. You can enjoy the benefits of taking the risk of building this business because you put the processes, the systems in place, and you went out and you fronted the expense for the experience of this person. This is the whole point. So we did it backwards and it did not work. And it was not a massive failure, but it just did not work, right? It was a great learning experience, and it made me now realize in my current life that I never want to do that again. My current path, my current belief system is 100% tested, tried, and true, and this is how I will operate businesses for the rest of my life.
This is freedom.
So anyways, we went remote, and I had all these realizations about the local employees that I had. And so naturally, I started looking into VAs again. Now, I still had some dismay from my previous experiences because I tried to hire a decent amount and just had no good experiences. So I'd kind of given up on it.
I'm just so tired.
I'd kind of given up on my dream of having a remote, location independent business that I could run from anywhere. And the thing with this is that most small business owners don't realize as soon as you get an office, as soon as you get employees, most likely, especially in the beginning, you have to show up and set the standard and expectation for your employees to show up on time, to set the pace of work, all of these things. Whereas if you can do a remote team, if you can build a remote team, then you can set these things in a meeting and it's a lot less time consuming, a lot less demanding of you. Okay. So I had some dismay when it came to hiring VAs, but I started going through the process again and got realigned with my vision and my goal. And I said, hey, I really want to build a location independent business. I was going through some personal things in my life, and I really wanted to get back to traveling and going to see different countries and things like that. And so this was the path I was going down. Honestly, we didn't know what was going on during that time frame. We didn't know if we'd ever go back to the office, and so this is like, hey, this is the way of the future. We didn't know if the economy was going to crash, so I was like, I need to reduce my expenses and make sure that we can last this thing out and we can make sure that we survive. I started hiring VAs again. And this process really pushed me to go through the process and figure it out. And I did a ton of research, and I did a ton of trial and error and a ton of testing and experimenting with different methods, different strategies when it comes to job descriptions, when it comes to interview styles, when it comes to hiring. Now, remember, I had been hiring in office employees, so I had gotten a lot of experience, basic experience, when it came to that and how to really start to identify good employees and identify employees that maybe weren't the best. And so I was able to take that new knowledge now and apply it towards the VAs. And we absolutely had an amazing experience. We grew the business back up. And I had a team when I exited that marketing agency. I had a team that was fully remote, fully in other countries, of 7 people, and we were helping a few dozen clients a month, full management marketing clients, and we were running the company with 30-minute meetings a week. And the reason we were able to run all of this with 30-minute meetings a week is because we had the systems, the processes, and we had a matured team. And so this is one of the things that I think so many small business owners miss the mark on when it comes to hiring VAs and it comes to growing their business. Your VA team, your VA employee, when you hire them, they're not going to be that perfect fit that you probably envisioned and thought they were when you started hiring VAs. It's going to take them some time, even if they're highly skilled at the thing that you want them to do, at the tasks that you want completed. It's going to take them some time to adapt and modify their working behavior to your processes, your systems, and the goals that you have for your company. And when it comes to hiring a team, then you have to give them extra time to learn how to work together. You have to give them time to learn how to navigate project flow as a team. You have to give them time to learn where their boundaries are as far as tasks and creativity, and where they can spend some extra time on coming up with creative solutions, or where they can cut time in redundant tasks that maybe an AI software can do. And so you have to give your VAs time to really mold themselves into that kind of ideal employee, that ideal VA for your company. But once you do that, as long as you hire a good VA and a good VA team that is truly passionate about what you do, passionate about your goal, they are aligned with your vision, and they're excited about the work that they're doing for you, in time, this will become a well-oiled machine where it will run itself. And your VAs, I'll tell you guys, one of the most popular feedback that I get from my clients that start hiring VAs is they are just absolutely shocked by the quality of quality of character that they hire with VAs. VAs are typically excited to show up to work. They're hungry to learn. They're excited to implement solutions. They want to feel important. They want to feel validated with good quality work. You can correct them as far as like giving them adjustments to like, hey, let's start tweaking this. Let's do this way. They are 100% completely open to that. It is absolutely just a pleasure to work with VAs because they appreciate the opportunity of the work that you're giving them. If you follow some of my other videos and you follow the hiring guidelines I have and the compensation structures that I laid out, you're probably going to be paying them more than what they could make doing a very physically demanding job or very taxing mentally job, and paying them more to sit at home and do things that they care about, that they're passionate about, that they have fun with. And so they really value that opportunity. And so when you can hire people like that and you can give them time to mold into the systems, the processes, and the project flow that you have, it's just a beautiful mixture of creative solutions and energy and momentum that is going to help your business grow.
I'm glad you're enjoying the video. If you need help with hiring, training, or managing your VAs, make sure you click the link in the description below to check out our free VA hiring workshop. If you need one-on-one help with me, click the link to schedule an appointment to see how I can help.
And there's so many benefits to hiring VAs that I talk about in other videos. So you should check out some of those other videos in the description down below. But when you just have a team of very energetic people that are excited about what you're doing and excited about what they're doing, it's just going to make the quality of your product, the quality of your service, the quality of your marketing that much better. And the energy that you're going to have to put into that is going to go way down. And again, remember, the whole point of hiring VAs and hiring employees in general is that we get time back. So our companies grow and we get time back and we can work more on the business and less in the business. And so many small business owners struggle with this idea of releasing control and letting someone else actually do the work in their company. And then when they try, they're not good at it. And so they think, well, I can't do it, or well, I just can't find an employee or a VA that can do this as well as I can, when that's just not true. They're just operating out of a limiting belief.
It's not a good thing.
And so how did VAs change my life? Man, I went from being trapped in an office with, and I literally mean trapped, because I had to show up every day, whether I wanted to or not, because of the type of employees that we were hiring. Now, as a small business, this is kind of how my hand was forced. I needed a certain amount of employees to cover a certain amount of tasks. And based on cash flow restrictions as a small business, I had to hire this kind of employee. If you're a much larger business, you can obviously afford to hire better talent and you can have a different experience. But for a small business, 6-figure a year small business that's trying to scale to 7, I was trapped in my business. I had to show up every day. I had to lead the team. I had to solve all the problems. I had to come up with creative solutions. I had to train the team, and it was just a massive time suck. Versus when I started hiring VAs, it was a complete shift. I did not have to show up to an office. I did not even have to be present all day to make sure the team was working and they were getting their jobs done, getting their tasks done, and doing them at a high quality level. I did not have to lead them in creative solutions. Maybe sometimes I gave some input or some direction, but I did not have to say, hey, this is a problem, let's fix it. They would bring me solutions. I did not have to be the energy source for them to say, hey, let's have a great day. VAs are people too, right? They will have days where they struggle. But in general, again, because they are so happy about the opportunity that you've given them to work for you, they're going to come in with high energy and they're going to want to deliver their best. And they really take a lot of pride in that. And so having that kind of system, having that kind of machine, having that kind of foundation has not only allowed me to grow my business, it's not only allowed me to deliver a better quality product or service, it's not only allowed me to have time freedom, it's allowed me to do personal development. It's allowed me to spend time on, hey, how can I improve my ideas? How can I improve my value for my team and for my customers? And so now, these days, if you guys are following my channel, you see that I'm always bouncing around from country to country. It's very simple for me to manage my team wherever I am. I can either manage them from my phone, or I can manage them from my desk here in my home in Bali, where I have a big curved monitor and it's very nice setup. But I can also manage that from my phone from an airport, and I can manage it from my laptop in a hotel, because we have systems and we have processes in place, and I have a team in place who's very excited about what they're doing for us and how they're helping me grow and how they're helping me impact my customers. And this is how my life has changed. And so now I can spend the majority of my time looking at what we're doing as a team, working on my business, not working in my business. I don't have to edit videos. I don't have to critique, different quality results of tasks that are being done. This stuff is being done, and it's being done at a high quality because I have a team that cares, because I've set the systems and processes in place, and we're just making fine tune adjustments to the strategy as we go. These videos, for example, on YouTube, if you go back and look at the initial videos, now I've deleted a lot of the initial videos that were irrelevant to this channel, as this channel started out as something else. But if you go back and even look at initial videos, we are making rapid adjustments to these videos. We're going to our 3rd month of YouTube videos, and we've made so many adjustments, and the quality of these videos is so high compared to what other channels do, and the amount of speed that we have in making these adjustments. I get asked a lot, how do you do things so quickly? How do you make adjustments? How do you test? And even my clients, they get started with me, and if they bring me in as like a remote CMO, for example, I do so much so quickly that they're shocked. They don't understand how we can get it done. And the first thing is, this is just what I do when it comes to marketing, when it comes to sales, and these systems and these processes. This is what I know, this is what I do, and I can implement this very fast because I have a clear goal and clear direction. But the other thing is I always build a team. So when I get started for my clients as like a remote CMO, the first thing I do is I assemble a marketing or a sales team or both. Then we figure out the strategy. We give the team the strategy, and they just implement and go. And then we make these fine tweaks and adjustments. And what this does for your business, and what this does for my client's business, is it helps them see results very quickly. It helps us test and adapt our strategies very quickly, and compound on our results and compound on our efforts very quickly, so that way they can make more money and they can grow. And so working with VAs has absolutely changed my life. If I did not have access to VAs, if I did not have the mindset of working with VAs, I guarantee you I'd probably still be stuck back in the US, or I would be some kind of creator or freelancer doing a bunch of work myself. Probably pretty miserable because I am a pretty lazy guy. And even though I work out regularly and pretty heavy, and even though I work a lot on my business and we work very hard at it, it's all motivated by, hey, how many moments can I have that are lazy, or I don't have to work, and where I can just relax on my porch, look at the rice fields, enjoy the breeze, and not have to put my brain to creative use. And that's so important as a coach, a consultant, because I need to have my creative reserves for my clients. But that's it. This is how VAs have changed my life. This is how I've been able to move so quickly. This is how I've been able to adapt, is because I build a team of VAs. This is how I'm able to travel all over the world. This is how I'm able to, not have to have a permanent office. And there's so many other benefits that come to VAs. But again, you guys need to check those other videos. But if you are debating on hiring VAs, if you've tried, you've not had success, you definitely need to give it another shot. And if you need some help, just let me know. Hey guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you got some value out of that, make sure you go ahead and let me know by leaving a like. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, and comments down in the comments section. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. We release 3 videos a week, one on sales, one on marketing, and one on VAs. And of course, if you want to check out some of our services or products, check out the links in the description, as well as you can find information on one-on-one coaching and consulting with me, where we can dive into the specific strategies and solutions that you need in order to take your business from 6 figures to 7 figures, or low 7 figures to more 7 figures.